Before this story begins, make sure you watch until the end. Use headphones and make sure you are alone, because this story is not about what you can see, but about what quietly stays with you. I was never alone in that house. Disclaimer: colon dot. This story is a work of fiction. Any names, locations, characters, or events depicted are purely imaginary. Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. This content is created for entertainment purposes only. I never believed that a house could feel wrong. Not because it was broken, not because it was old, but because it was too quiet. The house stood on the edge of town, far from the main road, no nearby neighbors, no traffic sounds. When I first saw it, I felt relief. He was tired of noise, tired of people, tired of a life that never stopped demanding. The house felt like an answer. An old wooden structure, its paint peeling, yet still standing strong. The real estate agent said only one thing that I still remember clearly: this house is rarely lived in. He smiled as he said it, but his eyes didn't. I thought nothing of it. Many houses are empty. People leave for many reasons. I signed the papers without asking much. On my first night there, I noticed something strange. There were no night sounds, no crickets, no dogs, no wind. The silence was so complete, it made my ears ring. I sat in the living room under dim lights, listening to nothing. The wall clock ticked. The only sound. I looked at it without knowing why. At 2 o'clock, I looked away, took a breath. When I looked back at 3 o'clock, the ticking stopped just for a second, maybe 2. Then the clock resumed, as if nothing had happened. I let out a small laugh, blaming exhaustion, but deep inside me, a quiet question formed. Why does this house feel like it's listening? Night fell slowly, as if something was deliberately covering the world earlier than it should. The house lights glowed dimly. They didn't chase the darkness away. They only made the shadows stretch longer. I sat alone in the living room. The old wall clock ticked softly, too softly, as if the house itself was breathing along with it. I tried to calm myself. Old houses make noises, I thought. Wood expands, wind slips through cracks. But as the clock hands neared midnight, every sound stopped. No wind, no insects, nothing at all. The silence felt heavy, pressing against my chest. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, like bare feet touching wooden floors. They came from the end of the hallway. E froze. My eyes locked onto the darkness ahead. One step, then silence. I held my breath, waiting for another sound. Seconds passed, feeling like minutes. Then the footsteps returned, closer this time. I stood up slowly, careful not to make a sound. Calm down, I whispered to myself. It's just an old house. But those footsteps didn't sound like creaking wood. They were rhythmic, intentional, I backed into my bedroom and closed the door. I didn't lock it. For some reason, I was afraid the sound of the lock would draw attention. I sat on the edge of the bed. The bedside lamp cast a weak glow, and that's when the footsteps stopped, right outside my bedroom door. I could feel its presence, not through sound, not through sight, but through instinct. The same feeling you get when someone stands very close behind you, even though you see no one. I stared at the door, waiting for something to happen. But there was no knock, no sound, only a silence that grew thicker. After a few minutes, the footsteps moved away, slowly, patiently. I didn't sleep that night, and deep inside, I knew one thing for certain. That night was not an accident, and it would not be the last. The days that followed passed without anything strange. Too normal, in fact. I started to believe that the first night had been nothing more than exhaustion and imagination. The house returned to silence, calm, as if nothing had ever happened. But that calm felt forced. Whenever I stood alone inside the house, I felt unseen eyes pressed against my back. Not fear, more like awareness. As if the house knew I was there. The third night came. I lay in bed with the lights off. The wall clock in the living room ticked softly, audible even from my room. 1, 2, 3. I was almost asleep when I heard it. Not footsteps, not something falling. A whisper, soft, very close. I opened my eyes. Darkness. The whisper came again, clearer. This time, it called my name. Not with a stranger's voice, not a deep one. It was my own voice. My heart pounded violently. My breathing became shallow. I didn't dare move, didn't dare respond. The whisper repeated my name once, then twice. The tone was calm, almost gentle, as if it only wanted to be sure I was listening. I shut my eyes tightly, clutched the blanket. Inside my head, I repeated one sentence. Don't answer. Don't answer. Seconds passed. The whisper stopped. I exhaled slowly, convincing myself it had been a hallucination. But just as I began to calm down, I felt something cold near my ear, and the whisper returned. Closer, softer, move. You can hear me. I didn't sleep until morning. And from that night on, the house was never silent again. After the night of the whisper, time began to lose its meaning. I barely slept. And when I did, my body always woke at the same hour, 3 in the morning. At first, I told myself it was coincidence. The human body wakes up sometimes, but night after night, the time never changed. I woke with my heart racing, my breathing heavy, and the overwhelming feeling that I was not alone. The bedroom light was still off. The darkness felt thicker than before. I glanced at the wall clock. At 3 o'clock, the hands weren't moving. Waited. 1 second. 2 seconds. No more sound. Then the clock ticked again, once, and stopped. The air in the room turned cold. Not natural cold. A creeping cold. As if it touched me from the inside. I tried to sit up, but my body refused to move. My eyes were open, My mind awake, but my body frozen. I knew what this was. Sleep paralysis. I had read about it before. A state where the mind wakes, but the body remains trapped in sleep. I tried to stay calm, repeating everything I remembered. It's just your body. I told myself it will pass. Then he felt it. Something sat on the edge of the bed. The mattress dipped slightly. Slowly, deliberately. I wanted to scream. I couldn't. It couldn't. I wanted to turn my head. I couldn't. All I could do was stare at the ceiling. As the sensation became undeniable, I could feel its weight. Not entirely physical, more like a presence. Then I heard breathing, not mine. It was close, too close. Warm air brushed my face, contrasting the cold around me. The clock ticked again. It was 3:01 in the morning. And that's when it whispered, not my name this time. Don't fall asleep. Then the pressure vanished. My body snapped back into motion. I sat up instantly, turning on the lamp. The room was empty. No one was there. But on the bedsheet, there was a shallow indentation, as if someone had just been sitting there. From that night on, 3 in the morning became a boundary. Whenever I woke at that hour, I knew the house was awake. After that night at 3 in the morning, sleep was no longer a place of rest. It became something to avoid. Every time I closed my eyes, it felt like I was opening a door for something else to enter. I started sleeping with the lights on, not because light made me feel safe, but because darkness felt inviting. But the light didn't help. My dreams changed. I dreamed of walking down the hallway of that house, but it was longer than it should have been. The walls were breathing. The floor pulsed softly beneath my feet. At the end of the hallway, there was always a door. And every time I got close to it, I woke up, heart racing, the clock showing the same time, 3 o'clock in the morning. I began to lose my appetite. Meals stopped mattering. Only one thing mattered: staying awake. But my body disagreed. During the day, I started losing time. I would be standing in the kitchen, then suddenly find myself in the living room with no memory of walking there. Once, I noticed footprints on the wooden floor, faint, wet. Even though it hadn't rained, I tried to explain it logically. Exhaustion, sleep deprivation, hallucinations. But that explanation collapsed when I saw myself in the mirror. My reflection moved late. I raised my hand. The reflection followed 1 second too late. He froze. I stared at it. It stared back with a faint smile I hadn't made. I stepped back. The reflection remained still. Only when I blinked did everything return to normal. I collapsed onto the floor. My hands were shaking. That was when I realized something that terrified me even more. He no longer knew whether these things were happening while I was awake or while I was asleep, and the house seemed to enjoy my confusion. The change didn't happen all at once. The house didn't suddenly become unfamiliar. It changed slowly. like something growing without wanting to be noticed. At first, it was small things. Doors I clearly remembered closing were sometimes slightly open when I returned, not wide, just enough to make me doubt my own memory. I began marking the door handles with small scratches just to be sure. But every morning, the marks were always in different positions, as if the doors were being used when I wasn't watching. Then the smell appeared. Damp, not mold, not wet wood, more like the scent of a room that had been sealed with something alive inside. It came and went without pattern, sometimes in the kitchen, sometimes in the hallway, sometimes right outside my bedroom. One evening, as the daylight faded, I noticed something that made me stop. The hallway was longer. I stood at one end, staring toward my room. The distance felt wrong, as if extra space had been added where none should exist. I stepped forward. 1 step, 2 steps. The floor creaked, but the sound felt deeper than before. I stopped. The hallway felt narrow. The walls on either side seemed to slowly lean inward. I stepped back. The hallway returned to normal. I stood there for a long time, breathing heavily. I didn't know whether the house was truly changing or if my mind was beginning to break. That night, I heard another sound, not footsteps, not whispers, a dragging sound, as if something was being pulled slowly beneath the floor. The sound moved, following my position. When I changed rooms, the sound followed, always beneath my feet. I crouched down, pressed my ear against the wooden floor. The sound stopped. Seconds passed. Then, the floor beneath me pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. I stumbled backward, falling to the ground, and for the first time, I felt certain the house wasn't just inhabited, it was aware. After the night, the house pulsed like a heart. I stopped pretending everything could be explained logically. Something was there, and that something was waiting for me. I began to sense the pattern. It didn't appear suddenly. It didn't attack. It waited. Waited until I was tired. Waited until I doubted myself. Waited until I let my guard down. During the day, the house almost felt normal. Almost, but every corner felt like it was holding attention, as if stopping for too long would allow something to come closer. I began avoiding the hallway. I dragged the mattress into the living room, thinking an open space would keep me safer. I was wrong that night. I fell asleep without realizing it, and for the first time in days, I didn't wake up at 3 a.m. I woke up later. The wall clock was frozen at 3:47. And the house felt different. The air was warmer, unnaturally warm, like breath held for too long. I slowly sat up, and that's when I noticed something that made my blood run cold. I wasn't alone in the living room. There was something at the far end of the room. Not a shadow, not a clear shape. More like absence, a part of the room where light refused to exist. I stared at it, and it stared back. Not with eyes, not with a face, with attention. I didn't move. It didn't move. We simply waited. Seconds passed. Then the floor creaked. One step, not toward me, away, as if it was circling me. I closed my eyes. When I opened them again, the room was empty, but the feeling of presence remained. From that night on, I realized something terrifying. It wasn't trying to invade my life. It was teaching me to live with it. I made the mistake, not because I was foolish, but because I was exhausted. Prolonged fear didn't make me more alert. It made me want to end it. I wanted answers. I wanted to know what was waiting for me. And most dangerously, I wanted control. I stopped avoiding it. That night, I walked through the house. With the lights turned off, I called to it. Not with a loud voice, not with prayers. I called to it with intent. By standing still in the middle of the hallway and whispering, "If you're really here, show yourself." The house answered, not with sound. The air changed, heavier, denser, like standing underwater. Underwater. The light at the end of the hallway turned on by itself, flickered once, twice, then went dark. And I realized something that made my knees weaken. The hallway was longer again, longer than before. I stepped forward. Each step felt like a wrong decision. The walls on either side were no longer straight. They curved inward, like ribs. I heard breathing, not mine, not from one direction, from everywhere. Stopped. I wanted to turn back, but the floor behind me was swallowed by darkness. The hallway now had only one direction, forward. At the end of it, the door was waiting. The door from my dreams. The door I had never opened. My hand shook as I touched the handle. That's when a whisper became clear, right behind my ear. "You finally stopped running." I screamed and pulled the door open. And in that moment, I understood my greatest mistake wasn't staying in this house. My greatest mistake was answering its call. The door opened without a sound. No creak, no slam, as if it had been waiting for my touch for a very long time. Behind it was not a room, not walls, not a floor, but depth, like a corridor falling downward, without an end, without a clear direction. The air there felt colder, but not refreshing cold. This was the kind of cold that slowed the thought itself. I stepped inside. The moment I crossed the threshold, the house behind me vanished, not into darkness, not into fog. It simply ceased to exist. I stood in a space without a fixed shape. Sometimes it felt narrow, sometimes impossibly vast. And then I heard the voice again, my own. Not from outside, from everywhere. It spoke. with the exact tone of my thoughts. You're tired. You want to stop. You want a home. I covered my ears. It didn't help. This wasn't a sound you could block in front of me. Something began to form. Not a creature, not a shadow, more like a reflection. He saw myself, but paler, calmer, a version of me that was no longer afraid. It smiled. "We don't want to hurt you," it said with my mouth. "We only want you to stay." I stepped back. There was no floor behind me, only depth, pulsing softly. I understood then. The house didn't consume bodies. It consumed exhaustion, loneliness, the desire to stop fighting. It grew from people who gave up. I screamed, not at the thing, not at the house, myself. I'm not done. The space trembled. The reflection cracked like glass. For a moment, I saw something behind it. Not a face, not a form, only awareness, vast and hungry. And then fell. I woke up, gasping for air. Cold floor against my cheek. Old wood, real. I was in the house, in the hallway. The hallway that now looked normal again. The door at the end was gone. It had never existed. The wall clock ticked softly. 2:59. 1 minute before 3. I stood up, slowly. My body felt heavy, but intact. No wounds, no blood. If it was a dream, it was too complete. If it was real, I didn't know how I had come back. I left the house the next morning without looking back. I took nothing with me except the clothes I wore and something left behind inside my mind. I moved cities, changed my number, changed my routine, and for a while, life felt normal. I could sleep. I could dream of ordinary things, but one thing never returned to how it was. Every night, just before falling asleep, I feel the same thing. Not a sound, not a shadow, just the sense that something is waiting for me to finish a sentence, as if I left a conversation unfinished. Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I smell that damp scent again. Sometimes, I dream of a hallway longer than it should be. And sometimes, I wake up with the most terrifying feeling of all. Not that I'm still being followed, but that I once agreed to go back, and I just don't remember when. If this story felt too close, it may not be the story. Some houses are never truly left behind. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss the next horror story. If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Your support really helps this channel grow. See you in the next video.